analysis in terms of different aspects of Armenian culture and history, which you'll be receiving. And in fact, as Halob said, so the title here, Analysis, Research and Planning, I think that you'll find in the 4 papers that are going to be presented to you a great deal of research and analysis, and I think you'll find even planning will be one aspect that will be discussed. So without more ado, let us begin with number 1. And so immediately after the presentation, there will be an opportunity for question and answer. And we are particularly pleased that our first presenter, Shahan Vidal-Goren, could be with us because, in fact, he is leaving almost after his presentation to go to LAX to fly back to Paris. So we appreciate his agreement to be part of today's program. So Shahan is pursuing his PhD in Armenian paleography, as well, it was up there a moment ago, at the École Nationale des Chartes, with the support of Paris Sciences et Lettres Research University and the Calouste Gulbenkian Foundation. He previously studied mathematics, and we'll see the importance of that as he proceeds with his talk, at the Université Pierre et Marie Curie, and Armenology at the Institut National des Langues et Civilisations Orientales. His fields of research include the evolution of Armenian handwriting, manuscript dating, and automatic recognition of handwritten characters. So without more ado, Shahan. The title of his presentation is going to be Armenian Paleography and Handwritten Armenian Character Recognition.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I don't think you hear me. Yes? Bon, as you wish. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here today. As you can...
We can't hear.
You can hear me? As you can hear?
Yeah, if you're closer, we can hear.
Okay. So, I have a typical and terrible French accent. So, if you don't understand anything, please tell me. I will send you my presentation. I am sorry for those who were in the colloquium yesterday. I will do the same presentation. I have made some changes, so I hope you will discover something new. I want to present you today my PhD research on theoretical Armenian handwriting and paleography, and its practical application within the Calfado-Tiffer project, handwritten Armenian character recognition. The PhD and the project are developing alongside each other and are interrelated. My PhD research could be resumed to the following questions. How the particular shapes of Armenian letters evolve and affect each other? What are the transformation mechanisms for a letter? How can it be that capital letters in earliest inscription have almost nothing in common with nowadays handwritten cursive letters? These interrogations underlying my PhD did not emerge out of nowhere. The concrete and specific question of handwriting automatic recognition triggered it and stand at the heart of the research. This disciplinary field is booming today, especially regarding the progress and constant improvement in artificial intelligence and neural networks, which have proven their efficiency in shape recognitions since 2012. Deep learning mechanisms and process are especially interesting for cognitive sciences, as the main comprehensive and thorough question is how to recognize an object, a letter for example, despite the infinite number of shapes it might take, and without having to learn each and every one of these shapes. In this way, I started to focus on the specific question of automatic recognition of Armenian handwriting within the Calfado-Tiffer project, which I have been leading since 2014. I am working with a team of PhD students on this question. The unique and promising results we achieved so far, which I will show you, are presenting new opportunities for Armenian paleography. These results are opening Armenian language to artificial intelligence field of research, which already includes ancient language as Latin or Ancient Greek. Thus, my presentation is swinging between two approaches. As a first step, a strictly theoretical one on Armenian paleography, to provide you with current findings and methodological limitations that my research has to offset. Then, as a second step, we will dive in the specific concrete question of character recognition and the opportunities presented by the Kalfa.IFER project. Armenian paleography is a recent field of study which emerged at the end of the 19th century with the research of the Mechitaris Yakov Bostachian. He was the first to provide a truly detailed description of Armenian letters and to propose the classification on an academic argument of their evolution, which, according to the 5th century historian Koryun, had been invented by Mashtots in 405. Many authors and researchers have since debated and enhanced his works. For instance, Horacha Jarvian, Ashot Abrahamian, and foremost, Dikran Kuyumjan and Michael Stone, with their precious album of paleography upon dated manuscripts. Most of these works concur on distinguishing four major types of hand lettering, but they disagree on the precise terminology to use within each writing type. Therefore, there is the Yergetakir handwriting, also called writing of Mesrop, because it is said to have been drawn by Mashtot himself, majuscule or unshal. The Borokir handwriting, to describe a minuscule writing, the Nodorkir handwriting, also called late minuscule, and finally the Shorakir handwriting, also called ligatured cursive. In addition to the lack of common standard terminology, the various authors do not agree on the evolution of writing. Thus, we can define as evolutionists the following authors. Indeed, they consider the change in the letter shape as a simple and linear evolution. Other authors are leaning, more or less, to a creationist theory as the following authors. This creationist position relies on two arguments. Firstly, it appears impossible for the first translators of the 5th century Bible to have been using exclusively capital letters, which are hard to draw without any prior, less formal handwritten drafts. This argument is suggested by the biography of Mashtots by Koryun, in which he attests the coexistence of two types of writing. Secondly, there is no evidence of this evolution because of the lack of witnesses' testimony from this period. Indeed, out of the 31,000 preserved Armenian manuscripts between the 9th and the 19th century, shared among the libraries of Yerevan, Venice, Jerusalem, and so on, only 60% are actually dated. The lack of dating of the remaining 40% results from the loss of the colophon. Moreover, the first dated manuscripts we know of is the Gospel of Queen Mulcahy from X62. Therefore, between the creation of the alphabet in 405 and the first manuscript dated from X62, there is a gap of more than 450 years. From this time gap, few Yergetakir inscriptions and fragments have reached us. And there is the how did letters and handwriting evolve during this period? How did we get from the letter I in Yergetakir to the letter I in Bolokir? What connects these letters despite their different appearances? Despite the growing interest in Armenian paleography, there is no paleographical criteria today which will enable precise manuscript dating. Although some authors have tried to distinguish and establish periods based on which type was preeminent at the time. In order to provide a new light to these questions, I will address them through the study of the manuscript fragments already published but unpaid. The uniqueness of my PhD research stands precisely on the study of those fragments of manuscripts, in particular on the palimpsests prior to the 9th century, in order to cover the hiatus period, thanks to an overall vision of Armenian and written character. It comes to studying these precious testimonies and to comparing them with the earliest inscriptions in order to identify the ductus of each letter and trace back its evolution. Each character has a specific history and development. To describe the evolution of Armenian handwriting and then propose dating criteria based on paleography. The ductus of a letter is a series of movements by which the letter is formed. The focus is not the final morphology of a character, but the way it is drawn. The research provides a comparative approach with Latin paleography, a disciplinary field where typologies have already been established and where the ductus concept was created and theorized by Jean Malon. Following the lead of the Latin paleography, the analysis will include every part of the text, such as abbreviations, punctuations, ligatures, line breaks, and so on. The ductus of a letter is a matter of particular interest. As I was explaining, it is hard to picture how such strong discrepancies exist between two Armenian characters from 3 centuries apart. If the morphology of the letter has indeed evolved, the ductus of the letter does not follow the same rules. In Latin, it has been proven, thanks to the works of Jean Malon, who highlighted the ductus for Latin letters. Here, the letter B in Latin. Majuscule on the left, minuscule on the right. The two shapes are very different from each other, yet they share the same ductus, as you can see. The 3 same pen strokes, but faster. Whereas in Armenian, we do not have a full scope of the evolution of the letters, and the consolidation in writing types category is quite coarse. Answering this simple question will need its own PhD. I will give you that. However, the stakes here are far greater. They exceed the field of philology and manuscript dating. As I was explaining, the guiding principle of my research is the automatic recognition of handwritten Armenian character, thanks to the deep learning technologies. These technologies, which it would be unnecessary to fully describe, as we are at the cutting edge of artificial intelligence and integrated in the daily life, are high-performance process, but require a massive amount of data. In order to apply them to Armenian handwriting, we will need to be resourceful. So, I would like to introduce you to the Kalfa.fr project. I started in 2014 when I created this little startup, and I know it will help us all as researchers. I am used to introduce you this project with this pitch, a digital platform of classical Armenian online for the study of Armenian manuscripts. This dazzling teeny title says it all and doesn't fit at the same time. Let me enlighten you with a little bedtime story. Once upon a time, a princess or a prince who lives in a dark tower and is held captive by a dragon. Obviously, you have to rescue her or him. To free her or him, you have only 10 seconds to decipher this manuscript, because it points to the only weapon capable of defeating the dragon. Of course, anyone here in this room can do it easily, but 10 seconds is still quite short. So you take your smartphone, and in your smartphone you have the Kalfa.fr app. You take a picture of the manuscript, and tada, you get instantaneous the translation. You find the weapon, you free the princess or the prince, and you shall live happily ever after with plenty of children. You all know the story. Here stands the goal of the Kalfa.fr project. From any Armenian manuscripts, you may obtain transcription, analysis, and everything to interpret it and complete the translation. It will contain a set of tools designed for private individuals as well as for institutions. For instance, libraries or foundations who intend to digitize the manuscripts, to put them online, and to increase access for users, especially for non-Armenian speaking users, as the French National Library Promotion Policy. Yet, from the manuscript to the translation, there is no easy way. The system needs to be able to read the document, to be capable to analyze transcription obtained, and finally, the system needs to be competent enough to use Armenian lexicon in order to evaluate and to model the phenomenon interacting within the text. Well, it is precisely the topics on which this project is focusing. Each step is, or will one day, be provided and available on the platform Calfa.fr. There are many goals. Speed the philology work, enable libraries to ease access to their collection, increase accessibility to Armenian literary inheritance. At the very least, everybody will agree on the OCR software which we intend to develop, but it is easier to work with a digitalized text than with a picture of a manuscript. Today, the purpose of my presentation is to expose our first results and to explain the process and needs of our system, and to draw some evolution prospects. The Calfa.fr project stands at crossroads between Armenology, linguistics, cognitive sciences, and artificial intelligence. So, my team is working on developing a recognition engine for handwritten characters. For this, we are using deep learning methods. To my knowledge, this project is unique. Current softwares are capable of printout characters, but current softwares are capable of printout characters recognition. But handwriting still represents a major impediment. This obstacle is on the way to being overcome thanks to neural networks. One handwritten character will never be exactly identical to another handwritten character. That is why the common OCR are not able to recognize handwriting letters. I popularize. For handwritten characters, however, it is an all-new problem. There is no linearity. Depending on the type of writing, depending on the copyist, depending on his tiredness, depending on the pen, depending on the media, depending on the lead angle of the picture, many variations may appear. We have to train the computer with large samples so that it can identify by itself the shape of the character. Here stands the principle of neural networks. A demo will be much clearer than any speech. To go faster, I will use the non-live version. You can consult some results at this address. I will show you how you can help us too. So, just a minute. So, poof, we take a picture of a manuscript. It is a Yergetakir type of writing. It is a very beautiful manuscript. The letters are well drawn. The characters are separate. So, a human, if he studies this type of writing, can read it easily. But it is very hard to work quickly with this type of manuscript. So, we want to recognize the characters and the text. It's not the same than yesterday.
Yeah, it's easier.
Maybe. So, we put in the red boxes the expected results. We want that the software do the same. So, he has to detect the character in the picture. So, first, he detects the line in the picture. So, the line detection is good. Yes. He missed this one, but it's good. I take a line of the manuscript to go faster. So in red boxes, the expected results. The detection of the character is in the blue boxes. It is the software results. And after this detection, which is very, very good, all the letters have been detected, he has to recognize it. So, what does the system read? Ground truth is the expected results, and prediction is the software results. So, main, hype, So I, nu, yech, yun, I, a. He read the men instead of se, yech, nu, and verchagen. Which is good. Which is good. I don't know what can I say. It's fantastic. It's the first time in the history of armenology that a software can read manuscripts. So, as I was telling you, one handwritten character doesn't look like another handwritten character.
You can tell from this.
Even within the same type of writing, there are variations. Look at this example of the letter I. In a single glance, you realize why it is impossible to create one model to apply. Then consider all variations. We cannot provide a model to the software in order to compare and identify the letters. Just like a child would, he has to learn by itself to spot what is specific to each letter and decisive to recognize it. In order to train the neural network to distinguish the letters of the Armenian alphabet, we must provide it with loads of data. These data are characters isolated and centered like this. The more it has to see, the better it will be at spotting the differences. This is how it theoretically works. We will wonder in a few minutes how to have ever better outcomes. To achieve the result you see here, we have been training our system with 12,000 pictures of characters near Gatakir. By comparison, Google or Oriflame, which is working on handwritten character recognition for the Latin alphabet, uses millions of pictures. And they have infinitely bigger computing power than we have, of course. Therefore, the prime goal to enhance the recognition is to increase our database of handwritten characters. We evaluate that above 200,000 pictures of characters, our system will reach 100% accuracy. Today, our database has 59,000 characters. In fact, since the last evening, we have now 60,000 pictures of characters. To achieve this goal, we need time and money. The database is available online to this URL after a free registration. Handwritten character recognition is divided in 4 phases. A learning phase with database of handwritten character, a detection phase, a classification phase, and a post-processing. The detection and the classification phases consist in endless continuous process until the neural network considers that it cannot get a better result. For the classification phase, we have already 100% success. In fact, you can provide the system with any picture of a centered character and it will detect it correctly every time. However, the detection phase still demands some work. Between detecting the lines in the manuscript and identifying the character's shape, the results fluctuate from 50 and 85% accuracy. We have several leads to improve the detection phase with or without neural networks, but still need more research and funding. The results will, no doubt, improve with the increase of the database. The purpose is not to reach 100% success with the OCR merely. In fact, 85% will be sufficient, as the post-processing is still to come to verify the results with our lexical databases. For now, the results show the letter on the line, but they do not divide letters to form words, because in the older manuscripts, there is no separation between the words. And there are still mistakes. Thanks to our lexical databases, we have statistics and probabilities which will enable the software to reconstruct and correct the text when it is needed. It's the post-processing phase, as period technicalities. Nevertheless, I'm clear thinking. In spite of the still increasing amount of data, inherent limitations for armenology have been brought to light, which boils down to one simple question. Is it possible to recognize Armenian handwritten characters regardless of the types of writing elaborated by the prior paragraphers? The interrogation might seem a bit preposterous, but it is appropriate to the difficult construction of a sufficiently supplied database and to the need for sufficient computing power to process it. Does the system need to learn to recognize one type of writing? Can it recognize a type it has never learned before? Defining precisely the ductus of each letter may enable to minimize the problem of handwritten characters recognition. Training the neural network to identify and recognize the drawing of a letter instead of the final morphology would reduce the needs and the many approaches required. It is just an idea. My PhD students in artificial intelligence will be mad to hear me say that. With the same idea, my PhD research covers the entire text of manuscripts, including ligatures, abbreviations, punctuation, line breaks, and so on, and intends to provide and develop criteria to resolve the convolutional problems currently encountered by an OCR. I have to say, at least, few words on the lexical databases of the Kalfa.fr project, because the Kalfa.fr platform is above all a plurilingual dictionary. There are many classical Armenian dictionaries. You can consult a scanned version on websites such as Nairi.com, but none of them had ever been corrected, updated, or completed, and so on. Since 2014, the first goal of the project has been to make available those dictionaries on one single location, to compare them with one another, to correct them, and to enrich them. Therefore, by 2018, you will find the following dictionaries on the website. Thanks to a polyvalent research engine we are developing, any request will be possible no matter the conjugated or declined form of the word. In the end, there will be a total of 50,000 entries and near 3 million lexical forms. In practice, it translates into a gigantic pre-lingual dictionaries online of classical Armenian with free access. You will of course be kept informed directly on the platform of any functionalities update. This project is open to all now, and you are more than warmly invited to join and participate. I repeated several times that our weakness was the small size of pictures database, and that once increased, our results in character recognition will enhance considerably. That's why I need you. Together, we will succeed to create this wonderful tool. With my team, we have already designed and set up online a free tool of crowdsourcing for labeling characters. You may find it at this URL. Anyone can register and join the process by helping us. The goal of this tool is to detect the character in the manuscript pages with your computer mouse. To bring this presentation to a conclusion, as you can see, the purpose of the project and thesis are ambitious. As a result of this PhD, supported by the Carlos Gulbenkian Foundation and the Université PSL, we will have a strict and clear terminology a representation of the development of letters and of the evolution of Armenian handwriting, as well as criteria enabling the dating of manuscripts. Regarding the Kalfa.fr project, you can already find on the platform useful resources. And we will add more in 2018. The OCR is already giving decent results, but it requires more data, and of course, we need more financial support to increase and enhance our results. Yet, only by the end of 2018, we hope to propose a complete, efficient system. Our lack of computing power forces us to invest a lot in new informatics equipment. Besides, as PhD students in mathematics or artificial intelligence, or as engineers, we cannot afford for now to work full-time on the Kalfa.fr project. The Carlos Gulbenkian Foundation is helping us to fund is helping to fund our project through the call for proposal Armenian language in the digital age. Yet, it is not enough. I'm convinced that a wider and a bigger international cooperation will benefit to the development of this tool, which we all need. Thank you for your attention.